and I started throwing rocks at gooses. And you never
Geese?
think you're. Well, it was a gander. So
Next time, give it loud everybody for Anthony Eugenio. We're gonna have next time. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne. My name is Wayne Russell, and I am joined today by my buddy Anthony Eugenio. Anthony, how you doing?
I am medium to fair. How are you?
I'm doing okay, medium to fair. I think a few episodes ago you said medium to poor, which
Yeah.
so you're on the up and up.
Yeah, exactly. Doing better. Doing better. Exactly. I've added a little bit to it. You'll see me. I'm not unrealistic. I incrementally get happier. I'm not this fucking bullshit people in America now where, hold on a second, we're going to die.
So while Anthony removes his lung through his esophagus, today's episode we're going to do, it's going to be like a mic talk. We're just going to have a little chat. We'll start off with some stuff that we've done since the last one. It's not going to be super heavy on what we've done. We have a few topics we want to touch upon, but I guess I'll start. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. We've done a couple new mics. We've done some of the ones that we've always done. Been to the safe, whatever. One of the new ones we did was Donahue's. We did that together. That was on a Sunday. And that was a really interesting one because Jacques Cabaret was closed, so there was an abundance of people mixing in from Jacques Cabaret and the regular Donahue's crowd,
I guess
and then
you didn't
us.
take that fact into account.
Yeah, one of us did not. So, I mean, for me, that went pretty well, surprisingly. We cut it down. They cut it down to 4-minute sets, which was fine. And I gotta say, I like the fact that at this point in doing stand-up, we're able to pivot so easily, like losing a minute. Like, if you remember the first time we lost a minute was the safe, and you thought it was 6, it was 5, and you
It
had like
killed
a
me.
mental break. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, it murdered
and
me.
now it's just like, okay, whatever. I'll take this joke out.
Yeah, that happens. Well, that was a really big lesson at the time of not have like. I mean, I could even do that now. Actually, I was about to say, but the lesson I took out of that was don't change a bit, take out a joke. Like try to find a minute joke that you could take out for those occasions. That way, you don't do your joke wrong. But even now, I'm like more comfortable on stage, so I can think more about time. I think back then it was all a blur time wise. Even now, like for between 4 and 6 minutes, I know if I'm on stage or something like that, but I couldn't tell you the precise until I look at the video. But I think I've gotten a lot better at pacing, so that I can keep myself on time.
Yeah. For me, that night. Well, first off, we'll say that the host of that mic is Corey Percival, and I gotta say he was great. I liked him a lot. I wish I got a chance to chat with him, but we left a little early because it's a hike for both of us, especially on a work night.
Yeah, never going there again. But great guy, so nice.
I'll go back. It's not that bad for me. It's just on a work night. There were so many people there, I couldn't stick around to the very end. But yeah, it went pretty well for me. Yeah, it was a great room. It's separated from the bar. It's its own separate room, which was nice. And it was a good, respectful crowd that stuck around for the most part.
Yes, so this is the thing. When you bomb, which I did, and your counterpart Wayne does well, which you did, you think about your set a lot. You're like, where did I go wrong? And it was definitely insulting the gays immediately off the bat. I get that, because it was the, Jacques Cabaret, you're going to get more of that. And I realized that your set that night was an ode to Dick. It wasn't a...
Sure was.
Yeah.
As most are.
Yeah, as most are. But it wasn't a... Like, you weren't talking shit against dicks. They like dicks. And you were saying, hey, let me talk about the things you like. And you did masterfully. And it went so well. Meaning, I think you could take that same act to Jacques Cabaret stage. And I think you would do really well. Even the...
That is one I want to do. Are you down for trying that sometime? I wanted to go there. Just Sundays are tough because I don't get to see my kid as much as I'd like during the week. So to leave during the weekend is...
Forget about your
Not
kid.
that I
Who cares
can't.
about him? He doesn't matter. What matters is comedy when we're in this podcast world.
Well, he's a little over 4, and I've started introducing him to video games like Mario on the Switch and things like that. And he's starting to get the bug, like he's itching for it. So my goal is to get him hooked on that, so he doesn't care about me anymore, and then I can go do the stuff I want to do.
Yeah, melting his brain 1 day at a time. I like it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I was curious if you would ever do Jacques one weekend. I would love to go down there and see what that's all about.
Yeah, because I think that I know Donahue's is only a couple weeks ago, but if I had prepped for that type of crowd, I think I would change what I did, and it would go a lot better. Obviously, it would lean on my.
Do you think it was your entire set or just your opening joke that set the?
I think it was just an opening joke, but it just once you fuck yourself, kind of like if you lose the crowd in your first joke, you're gonna have a hard time gaining them back. And I was riding the unlikable train express right off the gate there.
I think you could have gotten them back, but I think you could see the confidence draining from your face when that joke didn't land. Because that joke has landed. I mean, I think we've talked about it on the show, but you've used that joke a few times when I have questionable set before you, and it just didn't.
Not questionable.
Go over.
There's just a dick meter that you have. So you have like, let's say you have. Let's break it down here for the audience. Let's say you got 15 minutes of material, and I know you got more than that, but let's say 15 minutes of core material. How much of its central principle is about a dick?
50%.
50%.
I'll say 50.
Yeah, but so that means any given night there could be 7.5, and it's higher than that, folks. But any given night there could be 7.5 minutes of just straight dick material out in the wind, and sometime it congregates together in about 75% of a set. And when it gets to that magic level, full moon of dick, I turn into a dick wolf, and I come alive. And I go after him. And I have a particular joke that I go after him for that I've done a couple times. And like Wayne said, it has gone so well every time I've done it. But I was dick blinded. And I didn't realize that it is an affront to the LGBTQ community. But it isn't. It's more... Sometimes I do ignorance jokes, you know what I mean? Where I take the perspective of I don't understand what's going on here, and that's the kind of the point of it. And it's like you're being rude, but you're like, I'm stupid. I'm not rude. I'm just old and stupid. I don't know what that is yet. And but it can come off as being a dick, especially if there are young people in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, it's really hard, and now I know how you feel because this happens more to you than it does to me. It's really hard to be happy about having a set that goes well when your friend does not. Like, I was pumped. Like, that set for me, that 4 minutes was the best 4-minute set I've had in the last probably 2 or 3 months. Probably 2 months. Probably 2 months. And
it was great.
And I had a hard time feeling good about that because I know you were feeling the way I feel most other nights. So I felt bad about being happy about that, but hey, it was fucking great. So
you gotta feel good, yeah. Because like you said, I mean, I think our ratios are closer than you think, but on the nights that happens to you and I have a good set, the same feeling goes. But it's more now. I guess you're like, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. You're learning now. Really, you can always go, this would have went better if I did this. But in the long run, there's just a lot of things out of your control as well. Yeah. Sometimes people are cunty because there's only fucking 10 of them. So, I mean, man.
Really there was a lot there. I want to say there's probably like 20 there that night. There's a lot of people
that place,
there.
Yeah, I don't know. That place doesn't matter anymore in my head. See what happened? Because I had a bad set there.
In terms, I think the only other really notable one, aside from, other open mics that we did, I don't think we did anything super crazy, but we did a show with for Max Schultz and Aaron Thornburg at Spigot River Brewery in Lawrence.
Yeah, fantastic venue.
It's a great venue, yeah. There wasn't a huge crowd there. I'd say there's probably like 12 to 15, including the performers. Thank you, Max, for asking both of us to go on there. It was a nice day. to go hang out, do some comedy. It was very loose. It was, what do you say, 5 to 7 minutes. If you're getting laughs, whatever, you want to go longer, go ahead. Like, it was just kind of do your thing. We got to see Nick and Xtina, Avas. It was a good time. It was a good time, I thought. There was one thing that happened there that I have not foreseen. I do my Boston racism joke, which at the end I do a Biggie reference where I say, "Oh, well, my Biggie fans, help me out. If you don't know, now you know." And out of the 12 or 13 people, all but one were old white men and women. And the one person who wasn't called me out on my bluff, and he dropped the N-bomb nice and loud. And it caught me off guard. All I could do was say, wow, for 3 months I've been doing this joke. Nobody's ever said that. Give him a round of applause. And I didn't I didn't mean it in such a way, but I got a room full of white people to applause the N-word. So I don't know if that's a win-lose or a win-win or a lose-lose. I don't know what that is, but that's what happened. That's history.
Yeah, I mean, normally when a white guy highlights an African American man on stage about his attributes and has people clap at him, it's for a much different thing. So I think that being associated with that is probably not great.
Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. But my intention was not to bring attention to the fact that the word was said, but the fact that we go to the safe a lot, and it's one of those gotcha jokes, which like everybody always goes, you're not getting me, and you can kind of play off like almost gotcha. I never ever expected anybody to actually say it. But
yeah,
now I know
the
better.
problem. Like if you were gonna say a bundle of sticks, F word that you can't say now anymore, about a gay person, nobody says that about them. Like the gay community does not use that word because it's a bad word to them, and it's bad everywhere. So it's a lot easier to justify that one not being used. But the N word, there's a whole group of people who love it and use it every day in between every word, and it's awesome, and it's so great to hear, especially in rap music. So the fact that that exists means that you're going to ask a room that, and somebody's going to be like, man, that is my comma in my sentences. Bang, here you go, have 5. You weren't ready for it.
No, I wasn't ready for it. It's so funny, and obviously I am your stereotypical white man, so it's not okay for me to say that, which I don't say that. But
call you monotypical.
But if you go to the safe any given night and you see Ren on stage, there's probably about 6 or 7 of those being dropped in a 3-minute set,
Yeah.
but not from me. So,
someday.
Anyways,
We'll
that caught me off guard. Lesson learned on that. I'm still going to do the joke the same way I did it, but I'm not going to be blow off.
I saw some white kid. Do you remember the white kid at Book and Bar?
Yes. Oh yeah. The coach or whatever, his last name was Gurr.
Kerr, yeah,
Was it Kerr?
Yes. So Steve Kerr, coach, for the it doesn't matter. The Golden whatever. I'm on drugs, people. And his son's name is Nicholas. So Nick, last name.
Yeah.
And that was the kid's bit. But the second he was like, "All right, I'm gonna explain it first, and then I'm gonna say it," he said it. And you just can't say it. You can't even, how you address it, you can't say it.
There's a way to dance around certain things where you don't have to say it and you still get the point across.
Yeah.
Or say anything, not just that, but just anything in particular. There's a way to dance around certain things and make it funny without having to actually say what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you got to use misdirection there. That's the only way to do that, unfortunately. But, yeah, you live and you learn. That's what comedy's about.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think we both did pretty okay / mediocre. I don't think there's a lot of performers there. But anyways, yeah. From there, I don't think there was really anything else that was notable in terms of shows that we did. Did you have anything in particular that?
No, I mean we lived through a slump during this time where we took 1 week off.
Yeah, right around Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, and I think you took 2 off, right? Didn't you take the week off before that? Or
No, so I went. That show for Max was on Saturday before Thanksgiving. I didn't go out the week of Thanksgiving, and then I went out the following Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, it was like a week and a half.
Yeah. Well, either way, during that time we hated ourselves, as you do during the holidays, and we had to work our way out of it. So we went to Tempo Bistro on Tuesday, uh, last Tuesday, and that was fun. Danny over there is a cool guy, even though
Danny's
we yelled at
great.
each other.
Danny's great. He's probably not listening to this, but if you are, untangle your cord.
Yeah,
You
untangle
fuck.
the cord. Yeah,
It
he
was,
said don't,
it's
that's
so
the point.
short.
He said because his cord was tangled, so it didn't have a long cord. I was like, this needs to be longer, and he was like, you shouldn't pace the stage because you're not Chris Rock. And true, but also,
It's the only exercise I get. Is walking back and forth on the stage. I need that cord, Danny.
but it's not like you're like listen. I would cut him some slack if you're putting together a 15-piece orchestra with 100 mics and there's chords all over the place, and you got one that's a little tangled. You're like, sorry, man, I'll get to it. You got one chord. You got one motherfucking chord. There's only one mic there. That's all you gotta do is make sure that one singular chord is untangled.
Yeah.
Like how much could we fuck ourselves?
But
Yeah.
yeah, that was another quiet night at Tempo. The first time we went there, supposedly the week before, it was packed. People from trivia stuck around. I got there a little early. The people from trivia, there was probably 20, 25 people there for trivia, and they all bailed right
That place
before.
needs a booked show
Yes.
where
Oh,
you
100%.
have
That's such a great stage.
such a great stage, such a great area. I bet if you did a book show, you can get them to turn the house lights down so that it's dark. And I know they do the trivia night, so I know they shut the place down for it. Like you just need to sell tickets to that place because if you get people there, it's gonna be a great venue. It's just really tough to get the word out for some reason. It's a great place. You guys got to go. Dane's a good guy.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Tangled ass fucking chords.
I went down to the point after that, and I was trying to go catch Jacques go on stage before, but he got up before I did. There was some show going, or game or show or something going on, and the traffic was ridiculous. So it took me an extra like 10, 15 minutes to actually get to the parking garage. So I didn't get to see Jacques, but I saw Avas perform. Obviously, Cam going up in between doing some funny shit, and a few
Did a
other
lot more
comics.
in
I was
Boston recently, by the way. We gotta highlight that because I
yeah,
remember a couple months ago we were saying like we're on the outskirts of Boston, we're coming into
yep.
Boston, we're gonna get in there. Now I feel like we're getting a lot more opportunity to do the Boston stuff, and I like the same like the point. I remember telling you that like if that was a comedy like a real comedy club, I'd be there every week. Just
Oh, 1,000%.
put me
It's
on
well
it.
worth the drive. I love that room. The stage is fun. It's dark. The globe, like I can't stress enough how fucking awesome Cam is as a host in that globe and just like the whole thing. It's a nice, he's got your back as a comedian too. He says I'm not censoring them. They're gonna say what they want to say. You get mad at them, not me. And I love that. We've
Yeah,
been to places where people come up and they go, "Don't do crowd work. Don't do this. Don't do that." It's like, why? Why?
I know. I know. That is the worst thing you can do to a comic. It weirdly is tell them like don't be hateful or something because then all of us are like, I'm pretty hateful. Like a
Yeah,
lot of that's part of comedy is hate. That's a big factor of it.
yeah.
And I don't want to be double checking what I'm doing. Like, listen, man, how about you just this is a lot of the time an open mic. So why don't you just let it be open?
I can see if it's a book show.
Definitely.
If you have like, let's just throw like Mike Katrobas out there, right? He's putting on so many shows per weekend or whatever, and he wants to make sure that his company is represented with comics that aren't necessarily clean, but are not dropping the bundle of sticks and the N word and the calling people retard or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't want people to go, oh, Mic'd Up Productions is all about people saying all these things that are not really okay when they're doing shows in like a theater or this or that, not so much a comedy club.
Yeah, I think that's why I mentioned in the last podcast we need to have a comedy club around here, a real one where you can, because I think that the biggest Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned it into X because he's severely autistic. But besides that, it was because he needed to make free speech be safe. Because putting limits on free speech constricts it down absolutely to corrupt. That's just what it does. And I
Yeah.
think comedy is the same way, where Mike has to do that because he's running a company. A comedy club that is doing it the right way is going, hey, listen, we're going to have some shows that are wild, and we're just going to let the wild go. And they're going to say some crazy things, like Pauly Shore is going to do a set, and it's going to get weird. Or Andy Dick is going to come in, and he's going to get arrested at the end of it. But we're doing some weird shit. And it's so hard for, like, if Pat Collins or Mike Kay is producing a show that's like you get a buffet meal in a show, and it's like a bunch of 75-year-old ladies and men. This is a particular comic you got to book for that. Can't be someone that's talking about their dicks 75% of the time.
Yeah, it's true. I just think in certain situations, especially open mics, you gotta. I mean, and you don't get censored too much at all, really, at open mics. But just comedy in general, like let the comic make their own bed. If you go up there week after week after week and you're telling the same joke and you're not getting laughs and people are rolling their eyes and booing or groaning, then you know that or you should know, I got to drop that. I got to do something different. And if you come back with a similar joke but a little different, maybe you button it up and it's a little cleaner, and you get a couple chuckles but still getting some groans, then you know, okay, I got to take it back and I'm going to clean it up even more. Let the comics make their bed and sleep in it. Don't. I don't know.
Or just light them. You could always just do that too. Where you shouldn't be given instructions at an open mic, but you can go like, hey, if someone goes on stage and starts dropping N-bombs, just light them. And go, hey, open mic. That you come. I feel like people go to see that. Like when I go to see the guy at the circus with the tiger on the tricycle, all I want is the tiger to jump off the tricycle and maul that guy to death. That's all I'm looking for. Secretly, everybody in there wants that to happen. They are like, look at those feminine guys wearing those weird outfits. Wouldn't it be nice if that tiger bit him in the neck? And he did that one time, and everybody was so fucking pumped about it. That's all they talked about for weeks. So everybody's looking for this bad stuff to happen to us when we're at these mics. That's the whole point of it. So let it happen.
Yeah.
And let the tiger bite him in the neck if they say something stupid.
I agree with that 100%.
What a beautiful metaphor I just did. Oh my God.
Sure was.
This episode of Open Mic Pain is brought to you by Bo Fine. Hello everybody, and this is Barry the Big Bitch Ball Blaster, and I'm here to tell you today about Bo Fine. Now, if you're like me all your life, all you've liked is big, fat, disgusting women. That's all you've wanted to ever be around, and that's all you've ever wanted to plow your penis into. But today, we've made it easier. We bring you the first escort service for cows.
I spent a lot of time in my youth trying to get a girlfriend, and it never worked for me, but when I finally did, they were all pigs. Now I can finally change that with Bovine.
That's right, Moo You. They will take you any direction that you want. Ever want to get slapped in the face by 8 titties at the same time? You can.
Why have 2 nipples when you can have 6?
Where do you stick the dollar bill? Up to you.
Anthony, can you get a moob job?
You certainly can, Wayne. It's the most fantastic thing in the world. They call it an M job. And once you get an M job, you will never go back because it is full with the lactic acid that you need to get through your day. Calcium building ions right in your face. They say that you come on their face, they come on your face right back, Wayne. They spit like the dinosaur from Jurassic Park. Comes out black when they do it that style, but it's worth it.
Goes in white, comes out black. Sounds like my type of party.
Oh yes, Wayne, it's hard to clean up. It's much like the first poops of a newborn baby. But you take it in and you are able to get a euphoria that you have never felt before. one that only a bovine lady can provide. And today we have a deal. If you come and fuck our cows, we will throw in a goat for free. That's right. Go find today, where you can get a goat who is probably chewing on cigarettes to fellatio to you. Have you ever had a counterclockwise blowjob where you will never go back? His jaw moves in fashions and clockwise ways like a snake unhinging its jaw.
So that's a good segue. Actually, speaking of Mike Atrobus, one of the things that I've done since the last time we talked, my wife and I met up with the beautiful Jacques Lambert at the Nashua Center for the Arts, I think it's called. And we saw Mike Atrobus, Steve Bjork, and Chris Zito.
Yeah, which is a triple headliner show.
Yeah, those are all
awesome
headliners. And I got to tell you, I think the tickets were like $27 a piece. And I'm going to say I laughed more there than I did at Burr.
Look at that. Look at that value.
That was a fantastic show. I had so much fun. My wife, who was not super into stand-up, she was laughing the whole time. It was great to have Jacques and my wife meet. We got to go before and after, and talk with Mike and Steve. I didn't get to meet Chris, but I did hit him up after on Instagram and just tell him he had a great set, because it was true. He did. And those guys are master classes of how to keep a room fucking engaged. It was absolutely insane. The laughter was it was immense. It was contagious. It was just we talked about the energy in the room.
Yeah,
those guys kept it up the entire time. It was awesome.
Yeah, I have a new respect for the word headliner, because when you first start off, you're like, yeah, headliner. Like if someone asked me if I can headline a show for them, I'd be like, yeah, and I'd figure it out. And then you kind of realize that it is it's like the master electrician to the apprentice type of effect. It takes years to like you said, be able to captivate an audience and keep the level up to it. So did they do like tag team with each other, or did one of them take a host duty?
Mike was the host. So Mike went out, he did time, brought up Steve. Steve went off, Mike came on, and then brought up Chris.
So, Chris closed it, huh?
Chris closed it. Absolutely fantastic. And while we're talking about it, at that same venue on March 23rd, Mike Atrobus is going to be recording I think it's his first special. So I'm definitely going to take it.
Take note, motherfuckers. 30 years in the game, and this is his first special. You know what that means? He did not putting out something shitty. Which all you people that are like, hey, my special is out. Do you think it's too soon? You think it's too soon? I think it's too soon. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to buy tickets to that. My wife and I will be going to that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He had me in stitches the other night, so
there you go.
The only other thing, because we're getting kind of long on this part, but the only thing I did, I went to the Luna. I saw met up with Jacques again. Saw a couple comedians go up, and then the actor who played Georgie on Sopranos did. I would say probably 20-25 minutes. It was decent. It was a good night.
You know, if you told me before I heard about his set that you were going to say the guy from The Sopranos did a set, I'd be like, man, that's kind of disrespectful. That must suck for that guy. That's all he's known for. And then you hear his set and you're like, oh, that's what he wants to be known for. He wants you to say that. He does not want you to. He wants you to say that's the guy from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Goddamn right you do.
It's Frank Santarelli's his name. And yeah, he did do a little bit about being on The Sopranos. It was like I was on 16 episodes, and 13 of them I got the shit kicked out of me. But you know, it was decent. It was all right. It was cool. I get to meet him after the show a little bit. Yeah, it was good. I mean, Greg always puts on a good show. So
yeah,
I like
check
that place
out
a lot.
Luna on is the last Thursday of every month. Is that when they do?
Yeah,
it?
last Thursday. Yeah. So the next one's I think December 30th, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at
which
that.
I plan on hitting that one up too.
Some New Year's. Wayne's checking out all the Lunas. Jackie, washy, getting himself ready to go. 'Cause that's what you do.
So, I think we're pretty much caught up on what we've done. I wanted to pick your brain on something. That's why I was trying to push you to do this tonight. I saw this post over the weekend on Facebook. I'm on all kinds of Facebook groups, and some of them are comedy writing groups and this and that. And this guy posted a joke about wanting to open a store for women that was specifically for stuff for their periods, and he would stylize the name in the vein of Toys R Us and call it Uterus. It's pretty good. And then he said, if we don't want the men to find it, we can call it Clitoris. So he put it up there to get worked on or whatever. And whatever, it's like, it's an okay joke. I like the play on words and stuff. But he started getting a bunch of hate from people saying, you're a guy. You can't make those jokes. I'm like, it's a fucking name of a store. So I guess my question, and kind of some of the discussion I wanted to have with you is, at what point are you not allowed to make jokes about something because you're male or female?
Well, I think that all that's bullshit.
I agree with you 100%. And I actually got mad at reading some of the comments. I was like, fuck Facebook for today. I'm done.
Well, that's what social media is, unfortunately. That's why I don't have it, is because that stuff is when you drive in a car and someone cuts you off and you're like, I hope I'll kind of fuck your mother, and you're screaming at them like that with no regard, you will get out of the car and murder them if you get out of there. But you're just in the car and you're protected, and because of that you say some shit. That's what social media is. People just say shit on there because they know that they're not going to see it in person, or if they do, they are not taking that fact into account. They are just talking shit because they're on the internet. You could say whatever the fuck you want in comedy. I would say the only lines that are, again, everything that is a line is an unwritten line, because in comedy you're supposed to be able to say whatever the hell you want. But the unwritten lines are hateful tones in it. So the guy talking about periods is not hateful. It's a fact, and you can comment on it. Do you think that girl comics should not be allowed to talk about dicks because they don't have them? Because guess what? There
People
will be
actually
no
said
Schumer.
that. Yeah, people actually said that. But, I mean, here's my thought, and people, I think, really misconstrue this, but if you're a guy and you're like, period cramps, right, ladies? You might be taken out a little bit, like, what do you know about that? But you're talking about a store that sells period products, tampons and tampons and stuff like that.
Yeah, listen, they're going to need a guy to operate the forklift in there. So there's going to be men there.
Believe some of the hate. One guy, like, straight out said, this is garbage. Your punchlines are more forced than a Cosby date or something like that. Like, word for word, like, that was what he said. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, why are you being such an asshole? I go by Thumper. Remember Thumper from Bambi?
Did he get mauled by...
If you ain't got nothing nice to say... No. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Keep your fucking mouth shut.
And he was like...
He's like, nice talents.
Exactly. I just said a nice thing. Why doesn't nature care about it? Yeah. I don't know. Wayne.
I don't know. That's been, I don't want to say it's weighing on my mind, but it's something that I've kind of kept in my mind for this conversation, because I'm really curious. There can't be a line so blatant, like, okay,
the
it has
internet,
to do with
there's
women.
lines. That's the problem. On the internet, there's tons of lines because there's mob mentality and they'll come after you. So when you place your shit out there, you just got to be the most wokest of any. That's why Zoom comedy is so tough to think about doing, because you're like, you shouldn't do anything out to the world like that. Just because the internet's just such a gross place.
Yeah, I mean, you see that with all that Matt Rife stuff. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yes. So, not to give away his joke, but I'm sure at this point anybody listening has probably heard about this. But in his Netflix special, he did this joke about a woman with a black eye working in a restaurant. Whatever, blah blah blah. She shouldn't be working out the front with a black eye. She should be in the kitchen. And then the punchline was, well, if she could cook, she probably wouldn't have the black eye. And the crowd laughed. They all laughed at it. But the internet went up in arms like it's a domestic violence joke, blah, 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 which it is. It is, but like you said, you should be able to joke about anything
You're
in
judged
comedy.
by
Not
the
anything,
night
but you
of
should
the joke.
get
That's
judged. Yeah.
if it's not funny, they're not gonna laugh.
He did take it a step further. Did you see what he did on Instagram?
Yeah, the special needs helmet.
Yeah, special needs. Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, damn right. Yeah, I mean that's what fucking comedy is. It's why it's so annoying. You got to be able to say. So I remember when we first started, I posted one of my first sets on Reddit, and I was like, "Hey, let me have some advice from the comedy community. I'm new. How can I get better?" And someone said, "Okay, here's what's wrong with you." I was like, "Oh God!" And he's like, "You are disheveled, narcissistic. You're and you hate animals." And it's never funny to put violence on animals. And I was like, man, ouch.
It's never it's never funny to actually hurt an animal. But
yes,
you can make it.
Yes, it is. It's totally funny sometimes to definitely hurt some things. Like when you use a magnifying glass and an ant
Jesus
is
Christ.
like... When you put a magnifying glass in an ant is like the Pompeii villagers, and he's like, "What?" See, it's hilarious. It's the funniest thing ever. Sorry, go ahead.
What I was gonna say was it's never funny to actually hurt an animal, but when you're on stage telling a joke, I'm assuming that the joke, like you didn't actually do whatever to an animal or to. I now know that you did that to ants, which.
No, I didn't use magnifying. I grew up in Lawrence. You think we had Do you think people were studying in Lawrence using magnifying glasses? You think they were like, "Oh, I wonder what that's." No.
Yeah, no, the ants are probably putting the magnifying glass on you out there.
No, I did, and it's funny. I did it in retrospect. It's funny. Maybe it's not funny, but I'll say it. So when I was younger, I once was at an island camping with my family. And I started throwing rocks at gooses. And, you never
Geese?
think you're... Well, it was a gander. So...
Take a gander at those gooses.
Yeah, exactly. Take a gander at all those gooses. So you never think you're going to connect. You're just throwing rocks and you're just out there throwing them out there. And I connected. And I hit one, and he's like, yeah, and he went, wah! And his body stayed floating on the water, but his head was underneath the water, so he was kind of like a reverse submarine.
So you just knocked him out, and he just drowned?
No, so I went and I grabbed him because he was drowning, because I'd broken him, and I was like, oh God, guys, I connected here. We need to do something about it. And I lifted it out of the water. I was like, okay, I think if I just fix it and put him back in, he'll be okay. And I put him in, and his head went right underneath the water, and he started flapping. So I took him, I tossed him in the woods, and we went on camping. But
damn,
my point, that was funny.
Damn.
Took a gander of a fucking 95-mile-per-hour stone.
All the other gooses were like, "You got bail."
Yeah, because you're just kids, you throw rocks. But
Yeah.
I don't know if because you didn't watch too many sports growing up. But do you know who Randy Johnson is?
No.
So he was called the big freak or something like that. But anyways, he was like 6'7", skinny, gangly, looked like Slender Man baseball player, and he was awesome. He was a pitcher. He threw so fast. And one game, he threw a fastball, and it hit a bird.
I know this. I've seen this video.
You've seen the video.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That bird got so hurt, but that was one of the funniest things ever.
You want to talk about chances, like hitting the lottery? What are the odds of that? I mean, how many baseball games? Those things go on for like 18 hours at a time, and they play 186 of them.
Wow,
Or
maybe
227.
check to see if that bird had a manifesto.
He's like, "Fuck this!" Bah! Oh man, yeah, that was a crazy. I watched it every time that comes up in my feed. I watch it because how do you not?
How do you know? Because That's like watch. See exactly. It's a poor animal got hurt, but that's awesome. I mean, if that could happen every game one time, like imagine the seventh inning. They're like, all right, catcher's gonna hold a bird now because their feathers explode. It's hilarious. See it. I think we'd be down. We have a lot of pigeons in Boston.
Yeah, no shit. It's really amazing about the internet that depending on what you're watching, you can have overwhelmingly like Trigglypuff people like, that bird, that poor bird. Don't throw rocks at gooses. And then another video, you'll have overwhelmingly like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I don't know what it is, the propensity of people to want to like, do you comment on things?
Not
Like on
very
video?
often. Not very often. Every
Man.
once in a great while I will, and I'm usually just like made fun of by a flat earther, and I'm just like, okay.
It just feels like swimming with great white sharks for no reason. Like you don't even get to see the cool, like the internet. You can lurk. That's the whole great part about it. Like there was have we talked about the controversy in the Boston community scene there on the podcast?
With the laptop?
Yeah.
No. Which we can. Before we go there, commenting on the internet is kind of like, you ever met somebody who can like speak, can understand a language but they can't speak it?
Oh yeah.
That's what commenting on the internet is like. It's like they can speak it but they can't understand it. It's like the exact opposite. So no matter what you type, it doesn't mean anything. They just fucking
Yeah.
blah. Yeah. But I'm sorry, where were you going with that?
Well, it's just the internet has a way of blowing things up. The laptop story, which was, I guess, somebody at a local club was watching porn on a laptop at a bar. Which don't do that. Don't do that.
Definitely don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it if you want, but just fucking ask them first, Louis style. But all right, so
Just get up on stage, ask all 45 people there. Hey, do you mind if I just watch some BBC over here? If anybody wants to come over, you may or may not get a spot, but
you're welcome.
yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't cool. But there was another thing that happened in the same week where somebody was apparently accused of being predatory to
Yes.
a drunk patron, a local comic. And man, people lit him the fuck up all over the Facebook, asking him to release text messages and all this kind of shit. And obviously, this is stuff you're sending me. This is how I'm figuring it out. And my thought the whole time is, I'm like, man, you're just getting attacked by sharks in a swimming pool. And
Yeah.
you're in the swimming pool. Get out of the swimming pool. And you won't see, like, he's like doing apologies on there saying like he didn't do anything and all that. I'm like, get out of the pool. Stop it. Delete your account and stop talking to people. Like, listen, if he's doing bad stuff, you should call him. You should call the police. Probably is who you should talk to, or you should say something on the night on the spot. Because if you're accusing somebody of like, hey, I saw you get with a drunk person, sounds like you were there. And I think it's pretty apparent when a sober person's getting with a drunk person. It's pretty obvious. You could tell them to not do that. But on the internet, they will come at you, motherfucker. So that's why it's really a long about way to say don't post your shit online, because people would just want a controversy. I'm not saying this one's unfounded or anything, but it was the hottest thing on the page instead of things about Mike's that fucking week.
Yeah, I honestly, I almost left that whole Boston comedy part 2. So I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, okay, I get it. Call the guy out, whatever, but there were multiple threads on it. I mean, I've never heard of the guy. I don't know. I mean, we're still new. But why?
I did a show with him once.
Did we?
Yeah, I recognized his face when you sent me a picture. If I can recognize his face, it means that we've been with him, because I don't see anything on the internet.
All right. But I don't know. Regardless, I was just like, man, you guys are beating this. You guys are beating this to death, and you're just arguing amongst each other for one reason or another. And
then that was right after the Laugh Boston stuff. Which, if
That was a whole
again,
other thing we didn't talk about.
yeah. So Laugh Boston is doing a mic on Thursdays, which we're excited about because it's a real club, and there are some shit that people are so mad about with that mic that I haven't done yet. So it's hard to shit on them for, but I'm gonna. So they're mad that it's whatever, $10 or something like, or $5 or something
I think it
ridiculous.
was a $10 ticket and you get a $10 bar coupon.
Okay, folks, $10 ticket and you get a $10 voucher, and we had to watch Facebook videos about how unethical that was, and listen to people talk for days about how they won't support the place because it's charging comics to go in there.
Yeah,
Oh, let me tell you something, sir. You
sorry.
are not. Sorry, go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was getting my ranty pants on. You continue.
Yeah, let me rant first, then you'll rant right afterwards. Let me tell you something, comics who are local. They don't want you there. They don't care if you're there. We don't care if you're there. We don't care if we're there. You don't care if we're there. So let's think about this equation. Nobody who's a comic cares about if any of the other comics are there. The people in the audience don't care if you're there. They're there to just see comedy. So you're not drawing anybody. Therefore, you're bringing no money to the club. So the club needs to make money somehow because they're just a comedy club. They're not like all the other bars that are selling all kinds of other stuff that have regular patrons coming in for other reasons. This is a place that's dedicated to comedy, so they got to make money. So they're telling you that you're going to get a free drink out of this, so you're going to even get your money back, but they need to guarantee a stream of revenue coming into there, so hopefully you start a tab and you buy more drinks. And the fact that this is a controversy that you going there probably means that the community doesn't deserve to have that club do this for us, unfortunately. Maybe the mic sucks itself, but if that's your fucking criteria, eat shit.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've had this conversation before where there was another controversy on that Facebook page about should comics support the venues by buying drinks or buying food or whatever. And this comes down to that. They know that a lot of the comics around here are not going to do that. They're going to go up, do their time, and leave. Why are they going to why are they going to try to put this on and support this if they're not making any money? They're a fucking business. They're there to make money. They have to pay their bartenders. They need to pay the electricity. They need to pay the water. They're not there to do you a service so you can practice your same 3 dick jokes over and over again. And I'll say my same 3 dick jokes over and over again too. I'm included in this. They're not there to do me a favor. They are there to make money. The fact that they're putting on this service, because it is a service, that you should be grateful. Pay the $10. Spend the money on Cokes if you want. Spend it on a couple beers. Tip your waiter or waitress, bartender, whatever. Say thank you. Have a nice fucking day.
And spend some fucking money on the drinks like an adult instead of a goddamn child.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a big thing for me. And here's another thing too. I've seen a lot of mics, or quite a few, not a lot. A few mics have closed as of late. I don't remember the exact names of them, but I know like I was probably like, Clemento's. Clemento's closed.
Yep.
Why are they closed? They're not doing
Probably
mics
because the comics weren't buying food or drinks when they were there.
I can't say. I only went there twice, but I can tell you that the comics that I saw there a lot of times did not have drinks in front of them. Not saying they didn't buy any food or anything, but if it was profitable to them, they would not have closed it. Maybe there's some other things behind the scenes, but I'm just using them as an example. But if it's profitable and beneficial to the venue to have all these comics there telling their jokes, then they're going to keep it going. But if nobody's paying money, it's not. So I think Laugh Boston did it right. You know what? We're going to make sure it's profitable. Give me your money to get in here. And then if nobody buys anything, at least you made some money.
Yeah, they're just guaranteeing that they're selling $10 worth of drinks, which is, man, seems fucking reasonable. So yeah, we're going to hit that mic up because maybe it sucks for other reasons that are fair. Like, I know that I don't think they're using the main stage for it. They're probably using the side stage.
I heard it was in the lobby. There's a stage in the lobby or something.
Well, that was a diatribe from the people that were super upset about the happenings there.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know the setup. I've never been there, so I couldn't tell you. But
No, but we'll check it out. It's late enough It's going to be perfect for us to do one night, and we'll see. But yeah, support the fucking mics, you pansies. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like it's like you go into the. I get it. You feel like you're a heavyweight boxer and you're getting ready for a prize fight. Well, this isn't the prize fight. This is the gym. And guess what you got to do? Pay the gym. So pay the gym to learn, and then when you do your prize fight, they'll pay you to do it then. But until you get the date, stop being a pussy. Drink Pabst Blue Ribbon like Wayne.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of drama going on that Facebook page, and I find it a lot easier to just shut it down, not pay attention to it, but because it is a good resource for mics and shows and things like that. But.
Yeah, hey, well, listen, drama sales. I think we're getting to the end of this sucker, though, right?
Yeah, I
think
so. I have nothing else to say, other than I think last mic talk we talked a little video games, and you were playing Liza P. I was playing Ghostwire Tokyo. I think I beat Ghostwire Tokyo, started Liza P. because you forced me to, and I gotta say thank you so much. The fucking game's great.
Isn't it such
Love
a great
it.
game?
It's so good.
Lords of the Fallen I'm on now. Also great.
I can't wait.
And what am I holding in my hand, folks? You ready for this? This is a Jigglypuff gold Pokemon card.
I was gonna say Mew, but I can't see it because the resolution's not great while we're streaming each other.
Yeah,
But
well,
look at
that's a
that,
good
huh?
shot.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I can see that now. Yeah.
That's a good shot. So this was given in like early 2000s when the Pokemon movie came out. Burger King did a if you paid $10 extra or something with your Happy Meal, you got a Pokeball that came with one of these gold things in it. And I made my mother go to Burger King like 60 times that week, and I got all of them. And my parents are moving out of their house 30 years after moving in, so we're finding some shit. And I found this thing, so
That's awesome.
I'm carrying it.
I had out of the original 151, because Mewtwo, I think I had 147 of the original cards. And
Wow.
I gave them to my nephew, and I don't know what ever happened to them. I had Japanese cards, holographic. I had all kinds of crazy shit. I never actually learned how to play the actual game. I just collected them for fun.
And you gave them to your nephew?
Gave
wow,
them to my
you
nephew.
gave him
A long
thousands
time
of
ago.
dollars.
Yeah, no shit. Tell me about it.
He doesn't have them?
I don't know. I don't know if he still has them or not. I should probably find out.
Damn. Yeah, I gave a
He's
kid
7
once
feet
a
tall now, so even if I wanted him and he didn't want me to have him, I'm not getting him.
It's true. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's the way. Didn't matter if he was 7 foot tall, as long as he was above probably 65 pounds.
Yes.
He's getting through you.
Yep. Yeah. That's. Anyways, that's all I have. Yeah. Just.
That's how we end the shows, with dead air, folks. And guess what this has been? If you want a worthy step for laughs, you buy us a drink. Fair?
What do we have to do with? Why us?
We're also a comedy club. We
Oh
virtually.
well. So here's a nice thing. If you see us out and about and you buy us a drink, you're supporting the club and us.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at
We're
that.
supporting the club
That's a twofer.
and us. And I drink Diet Cokes, which is basically free.
Yeah.
Basically free.
And he'll fuck you up.
That's right. It's been a worthy step in a class for life. And when it gets to that magic level full moon of dick, I turn into a dick wolf.